earlier today, we found out that the opening day fixtures in the 2024-2025 Championship season, of course. But what has that done to the bookies' odds? We're going to take a little look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It's all about the Championship. It's all about the latest current goings on with the bookies, as of course the fixture lists for the EFL and the Championship have been released. We'll get to all of that and more in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for EFL Championship, Blackburn Rovers. We got it all here, boys, under one rooski, of course. Yes, Rovers kicking it all off against Derby in the opening day. But what has that done to the current state of play in the bookies' odds? We'll get into all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the Patreons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash your subscribe, your one-stop shop for Rovers and all that right here. Now, before we jump into it, a quick sidebar. All right, then, folks, let's take a little look at it right here, right now. This is, of course, the latest developments coming out of the EFL, the Championship. These are, of course, the opening day fixtures. Rovers take on Derby. Of course, what do you think about this? What's your standout game there? Of course, Burnley and Luton. That's a bit of a cracker as well. And, of course, very bizarre goings on with the EFL, announcing 2 Friday night games, and the rest, what I appear, or at least a vast majority of the remaining games, will take place noon 30 kickoffs on the Saturday. So that is madness. But what, of course, has these fixture releases done to the bookies' odds? Well, we're going to take a look at it right here, right now, and I'm going to bring you what I see at the moment with the bookies. So let's, of course, take a look at it. They're going to come at you in a bit of a random order because I've got the old logos coming at you, and we're going to put them in this tier list. All right then, folks, now I am going to come at you with a bit of a random order, depending on how the graphics come out here. So it's not necessarily top versus bottom, but you'll get a clear picture of it in a moment. Also, I will be dropping my updated 2024-2025 predictions, where I do think each club will end up at the end of the campaign, now that we're a little bit closer to having every manager present for the start of the campaign. So I'll do it at least one more time, and probably actually a final time before the season kicks off after the transfer window bubbles. But these are the current bookies odds, and we're going to go with Sunderland. Sunderland currently around about 9th favourites at the moment, so we're going to stick them right in mid-table. And they do have odds to get promoted, that is, at 7-1. Now, next up, should we get out of the way? Of course, it is Blackburn Rovers. Let's get, of course, my boys out of the way. It's not great for Rovers at the time of asking, but we are down in this pecking order. We're looking like we're going to have a long old season, a struggle, but currently in and amongst it, around about 12-1 to get promoted. But that is, of course, around about the 20th favourites. So it's not great for Rovers at the moment. Let's go, of course, take a look at the Hornets. I've got a soft spot for these guys. It is, of course, Watford. And they're coming at you around about 11th. So they're going to join Sunderland in this middle of the road kind of job. Of course, they got 7-1 odds, just like Sunderland as well. So you could be potentially as high as 7th, give or take, depending on where we are in all of this madness. Next up, we have Bristol City, often dubbed one of the most boring sides in the league. They also are going to be with Rovers down here in this season of woe. Nothing much to get excited about. 17th favourites, according to mine, 12-1 alongside Rovers as well. So these can interchange, if you know what I mean. Next up, we're going to go with one of the favourites, or one of the heavyweights in this season. It will be Luton Town. That's right. Luton are amongst the big boys. Expected to be in and about the playoffs, with odds at 4-1 to get promoted back to the Prem at the moment. Next up, we have another challenger, according to the bookies' odds, and it's Coventry City. That's right. They're also up there, spending a bit of money, breaking a bit of bank, but they're around about 5-1 at the moment to get promoted. They're in amongst the playoff contenders as of recording. Next up, we're going to go with, we're going over to Wales. That's right. If you can see him right here, right now, it's going to be tricky to get this graphic visible, but we're gonna go for it, and it is Swansea City. Swansea City look like they're being very active at the moment in the transfer market. Look like Macaulay Longstaff could be joining his old coach at Swansea City. We'll confirm that later on when the season gets a little bit closer. So Swansea also in amongst it. They're around about 18th favourites with odds of 12-1, like Rovers, like Bristol City. Next up, we have Sheffield Wednesday. They're currently in the mixer right here, right now, sitting in the crop of teams there or thereabouts. with, of course, odds at 50-2 to qualify and get themselves promoted to the Premier League. Of course, they've got Danny Roll in, of course, who's been fantastic since he's joined. Can he have that momentum continue into next season? Next up, we do have, alongside them, just missing out on the playoffs, it looks like, it's West Bromwich Albion, of course. They're just outside 6-1 at the moment. They're 7th favourites to get promoted. Just missing out this year. But could be there or thereabouts, depending on how well they invest and keeping Carlos Cobahan as well. Next up, we go Stoke City. Stoke City, they're, of course, also in this one as well, alongside Sunderland, Watford, Wednesday, and the Albion. They're currently 12th favourites to get promoted with odds at 7-1. They have been a bit active in the market as well, back in Schumacher, which I don't know. I still don't believe in the Schumacher and the project that he's got going on there. Also, making the step above these guys will be the Blades. That's right, Sheffield United. They're coming at 5-1 to get promoted under Chris Wilder. We're going to get it right again in the Championship. Meanwhile, QPR with, of course, Cifuentes. Again, expected to be in and amongst the bottom end of the table, but maybe it's a journey. They're currently 16th favourites to be promoted. They're around about 8-1 odds, so a little bit better than the likes of Rovers, perhaps. So they might just fall outside that. The Nobbers, Preston North End, they're actually at the moment tipped to go down. Goodness gracious me, could be a season to forget for Preston North End. They're currently odds at 14-1 to go down. It is a little tight between themselves and another club, and we'll talk about that other club in a minute. Portsmouth right now are on the up and up. Goodness gracious me, I can't believe this. I can put they're as high as 7-1 to get promoted. Back-to-back promotions could definitely be on the cards for the lads at Fratton Park. They're up there. According to my data, they're 10th favourites. 10th favourites with 7-1 in and amongst the likes of Stoke and Watford. Next up, we have Plymouth Argyle under Wayne Rooney. Now, of course, he is the biggest signing they'll ever have, but it looks like they could be struggling again. Expected to get compete with relegation. 25-1 to go down at the moment with the bookies. Meanwhile, same can be said for Oxford United. They just lost Josh Murphy. He's gone to Portsmouth. Also 25-1 to get promoted this time around. Those are your 3 favourites at the moment to be relegated, of course. Next up, we have Norwich. They're unfortunately not going to make it. They're going to go in, of course, the next best thing as well. 8th place, according to my eyes, with odds of around about 6-1 get to promoted alongside West Brom as well. Millwall, again, active in last transfer window, but unfortunately not looking like they're going to get much further either. They're going to be around about 19th, according to my data, with odds of 12-1, like Swansea, like Bristol City, like Rovers. Of course, the Borough, though. What about Middlesbrough? They are just going to miss out as well, but they will be in the playoffs according to the current state of play with the bookies. Odds of 4-1, alongside that of Luton Town. So in there, very much so. But we'll see if they're right or if they're wrong. Hull City, of course, they lost Rosinha, spent a lot of money last season. They're also going to be just outside the playoffs. They were around about 13th, something like that. Am I right? 13th right now. It is actually down here. So I'm going to put them down here. But they're in a crop of teams at around about 7-1. They just miss out, according to my numbers here. Meanwhile, we're going to go with, of course, Cardiff City. Now, they just miss out on the relegation spots. They're, of course, going to be in amongst this batch of teams around about, what we odds got odds on it, 14-1 for Cardiff. So same as Preston, but alphabetically, they just so happen to fall above them in my graphical. Then we go to Derby County, of course, back into the second tier for the first time in a couple of seasons after their jaunt in League One. Derby County also in this crop of teams, around about what we're looking at 8-1 for Derby, bit of momentum for them, but they're leaving the top 2 spots with Leeds United, of course, expected to be the number 1 team right now with odds of 11-10 to get promoted, and they're going to join by them 6-fingered freaks, Burnley at 2-1, who currently come into this managerless. That's right. Those are the current state of play for the bookies odds for the Championship. Let me know your thoughts about that. Do you agree with the bookies? Yeah, they're talking nonsense. Well, let me know down below. As for me, for Rovers, they got a lot of work to do if they're going to convince the bookies and the fans that they're anything but a relegation team right now. But anyway, that's it. We'll bring you my own updated predictions for for where I think the teams such as Rovers, Luton, Stoke, etc., will finish in the Premier League. In the Championship next season. We'll of course come back. Well, there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. Of course, I will be back with my own video, my updated predictions for the 2024-2025 season very, very soon. Of course, we now know the majority of the managers still. I think Burnley are the only one yet to confirm their head coach for the new season. So I'll be able to update my rankings based on that. And of course, the bookies odds and the release of the fixture list. Are you happy with the fixture list? Are you happy with, of course, the bookies predictions for the new season? Let me know down below, but we'll look forward to it whenever you return. But until then, smash the subscribe, smash the like. See you later. But until then, we are done.